Okay, dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to the third episode of Hero Origins. In this video, we'll be looking at Lubu's story and origin. The episodes in this series will cover the hero's story, name and origin, and the history of the hero in 7 Nights. This is something new that I've added for everyone to see how the hero has evolved. Lubu has a similar design basis as Wukong, whereby he is a hero derived from Chinese history, and he has appeared in many other games like Dynasty Warriors, Fate Grand Order, Arena of Valor. So let us check out his in-game story. Lubu is one of the 4 lords in 7 Nights and he rules over the Crimson Canyon of World 9. Apparently in 7 Nights he was an orphan who was valued by a government official who drafted him into the army. He felt unjust for the citizens when they were exploited by corrupt officials and took them down. Due to his amazing abilities, he was summoned by Pascal to fight with other generals who he defeated. Thus, the title of the 4 Lord was given to him. He has a very obnoxious and arrogant personality in the beginning and always thought of himself as superior to others. In as early as episode 4 of the story, he fought the 7 Knights and defeated them and actually kidnapped Rachel. Well, clearly somehow Rachel was rescued, but the next moment Lubu appeared was when he fought one-on-one with Chris. Midway of the battle, he was summoned by Rin to return to the palace as Pascal has called for the 4 Lords. And in the palace, all the 4 Lords got scolded for losing to the 7 Knights and were told to step up their game. After that, Lubu's story isn't really developed until his awakening. At the beginning of episode 26, we come to know that Lubu actually returned to the battlefield and was actually no longer a general. He had decided to lead a quiet life with Diao Chan. The reason for this is speculated to be due to a huge defeat as a result of his recklessness and temperamental nature, which caused Guan Yu, who was the king, to face dire setbacks. And even after coming back to assist Guan Yu, Lubu blamed himself for his poor leadership and was not confident. It was then that Diao Chan reminded him of how he used to be so enthusiastic and confident, and it's only after that Lubu accepted the power of destruction to save Guan Yu from his dangerous situation. Lubu is also acquainted with our Chinese hidden masters Mulan and Xiang Yu. While Mulan was one of the soldiers in Lubu's army and was kicked out after they found out she is a girl, Xiang Yu was a friend turned enemy when he found out that Lubu was working under Pascal, the one who caused his father's death. So as you may already know, Lubu's character and design is based off the real Chinese military general and warlord from the late Eastern Han Dynasty. He was also a major character in the classic history novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I will make this as interesting as I can so it won't turn into some boring history lesson, and I will split his story into 5 arcs. In Arc 1, Lubu, whose courtesy name Feng Xian, was originally a subordinate of the small warlord Ding Yuan. Lubu was treated very kindly by Ding Yuan. He was appointed by Ding Yuan as the cavalry commandant, the commander of soldiers who fought on a horseback. In year 189, after a failed assassination of a eunuch group, a tyrannical warlord Dong Zhuo entered the capital with the intention to kill Ding Yuan and take his troops. He decided to convince Lubu to defect to his side and to betray and murder Ding Yuan.
None will be left in the capital who dared to oppose me. If you can do that for me, I will adopt you into my family by way of reward. Also, I will make you a gift, red hair, the swiftest.
Dong Zhuo gifted his prized possession, the red hare. No, the horse named the red hare, to Lubu. After Lubu murdered Ding Yuan, he acknowledged Dong Zhuo as a foster father and was also promoted greatly. Lubu's immense strength and ability to shoot while riding on horses earned him the title of the Flying General. In Act 2, this part is purely fictional from the Three Kingdoms novel, and that is the battle at Hulao Pass. This battle was between Dong Zhuo against 8 other warlords. The generals of other warlords came to fight Lubu one-on-one, but were all slain by Lubu. The final battle was against the 3 Swan brothers, Zhang Fei, Liu Bei and Guan Yu. Despite winning every single warlord before this, Lubu was unable to take on all 3 at once, and he managed to find an opportunity to escape. So I just wanted to bring this in to shed light on the illustrated relationship of Guan Yu and Lubu. It is not similar to what we have in 7 Nights at all. In Act 3, in general, Dong Zhuo had a very bad temperament.
You're never by my side when I need you. What good are you?
What? I am not your vassal. Do not misunderstand our relationship.
During one of his outbursts, he threw short halberds, or let's just say sharp weapons, at Lubu, which Lubu dodged due to his quick reaction. Lubu was not happy at all and even started to hate his foster father.
Listen to me. If you let anything like this happen again, I will show you no mercy. If I tell you to kill someone, you will kill them. Understand?
Watch how you talk to me, pig.
At that time, Lubu had an affair with one of Dong Zhuo's mates, Hello Diao Chan, and that was something he feared would be exposed. Lubu then met up with some ministers and complained to them about Dong Zhuo, during which they revealed their plot to kill Dong Zhuo and asked for Lubu's help. Lubu hesitated but agreed to join them and personally killed Dong Zhuo. In fact, in several adaptations of the story, Diao Chan was also one of the perpetrators to influence Lubu to kill Dong Zhuo. With the murder of the notorious Dong Zhuo, Lubu was heavily promoted by the official court. In Act 4, later in year 194, Lubu and some other warlords started a rebellion and managed to invade and take over some counties which were originally under the powerful warlord Cao Cao. Cao Cao was determined to reclaim his land and fought Lubu's army for over 100 days. Within 2 years, he accomplished the reclaiming of all his land and forced Lubu to flee once again. Lubu actually seeks shelter under Liu Bei, one of the warlords I mentioned earlier who was sworn brothers with Guan Yu. Lubu respected Liu Bei very much and was also very grateful.
Province was most savage. Please, take some time to rest your weary bodies here in Shu Province.
However, by then, Lubu was already known to be widely unpredictable and untrustworthy, so Liu Bei did not speak too much and pretended to be friendly. In Act 5, at this point, Lubu received a letter from another warlord, Yuan Shu. Yuan Shu asked Lubu for his help to attack the capital of Xu Province, Xiapi, which was under the charge of Liu Bei. In exchange, Yuan Shu told Lubu he would send food supplies, constant supply of military equipment, all to Lubu. And of course, Lubu was delighted and agreed. Lubu set fire to the city and captured Liu Bei's family, while Liu Bei was away fighting against Yuan Shu's other forces. Liu Bei was forced to surrender to Lubu as a result, and by now I believe you would too have the impression that Lubu constantly betrays people that helped him.
I will seize everything on the battlefield and make it my own!
From year 198 to 199, Cao Cao personally led a revolt against Lubu and Xiapi. The siege battle went on for over 3 months, and this caused the morale of Lubu's troops to fall dramatically. In the end, Lubu was captured by Cao Cao.
Then tell me, what would happen if you add my strength to this thing you call strategy?
And despite his final attempts to convince Cao Cao of his goodness, he was executed and his body was decapitated and buried. And by the way, it was Liu Bei who convinced Cao Cao to not let Lubu live.
Damn you, Liu Bei!
Farewell, Lubu. Let your pride in being the best die with you here in Xiapi.
Lubu's meta lasted for months and his awakened form also stayed in arena for a really long time. It is very reminiscent of his real story where he really doesn't leave the battlefield. Initially when Lubu was released, this was his skill set. He increased his own lethal attack, which is similar to our lethal rate, and has 6 void shields. As basic as this may look, these 6 void shields were an insane mechanic back then when all heroes had only 1 hit. Furthermore, Lubu also had piercing and reduction of buff duration, all of which were a huge deal back in March 2016. In September 2017, Lubu got a remake which increased his void shields to 7 and also granted him higher lethal attack damage. Not only that, his attacks also gained multiple hits to let him catch up with the meta, along with additional bleed mechanics and guaranteed critical hits. Finally, in September 2018, Lubu awakened in the New World server and along with that, ruled over Arena with the physical teeth. Oh, and of course, the ridiculous battles against him in Guild Dungeon 915. So this is the end of the Lubu Hero Origins episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot more about Lubu and of course some Chinese history. Do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel to catch Rin's episode coming after this. Thank you so much and see you!